Alright guys, Kaz here. We're at Kaz vs. Wild Season 7. How you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I know we're doing great. We're having a blast being out here at Kaz vs. Wild. It's been a bit challenging as always. It's been raining a couple days here and there, but for the most part, we're having a real good time. In front of me, I got some stuff. I got some survival tools that are regular size and then smaller size, and that's the whole gist of today's video, is small tools. Do they hold their weight, and do they perform as well as their counterpart, their larger tool? So I'm going to go through what I have here right now, and I have a military pack shovel. I have a Ultimate Survival Tools shovel here. I have two Gerber hatchets. I have the full-size hatchet and the pack axe. I have two multi-tools, full size and the mini keychain size. I have two pocket knives, one which is a razor blade only and one is a full folding knife. I have two types of paracord here, and on the side over here I have a folding knife and I have a full and complete bow knife. So I'm going to go through and discuss, is the smaller counterpart really worth having in your pack? And does it perform as well as the larger counterpart that's equal to it? So I'm going to start out with the shovel here. And right away, the first thing that I noticed about the shovel is, while I was looking it over, is that the reason why the military grade shovel is so well is because of the spline. This spline is a solid piece of steel, and it's actually got a nut and bolt here. So that makes this whole universal grip really, really solid. Now, I've had this one since I started Kaz vs. Wild, so I've had this shovel for about 8 years. It's made in the United States, and it's mill specs, the way that it's made, and it's a fantastic shovel. I have zero complaints about it. I've done trenching, I've dug holes for campfires. I've used the serrated edge to cut down small trees that are in the way, uproot tree roots that are in the way of making a trench and or trying to do a bushcraft project, or just in the way of trying to make a campfire where I want to get the roots out of the way. So that works really well. This is the Ultimate Survival Tools shovel, and again, the first thing that I notice is the spline is a hollow spline. And so the reason why I'm kind of concerned about that is because while we were up here, we actually had a shovel with a hollow spline, and the spline gave out. And I'll take a picture of this so you can see the close-up. But unlike the military grade solid spline, this is a hollow spline. And the one concern that I have is this shovel going to give out much like that one did under a high stress situation? Although I have to say that I have been using the Ultimate Survival Tools for 4 years in my garden at home. So I can't say that it's all that bad. I've used it seasonally at home, and it's performed really well. So I can't really say that many bad things about it, but I will give you a demo on it here at Kaz vs. Wild after I'm done with this. Now, moving on, we're going to go right into the hatchets here. And this is a full-size hatchet by Gerber, as you can tell. It's very nice. I'm going to guess this is probably 14 or 16 inches long. Compared to its smaller counterpart, the pack axe, which I do believe is 8 inches long. And I just recently did a review on pack axes on my Kaz vs. Wild channel. You'll find it in my uploads. And out of the 3 that I tested, this pack axe performed the best. So in comparison, which one do you need for your pack? Honestly, knowing how well that this little one works, I would say that this one is good enough. It's got a nice anvil on the end for some light tapping. I wouldn't say that you want to bust it through on something hard, because this is a composite handle. It's not a wooden handle, and I don't know if this head is going to wiggle loose at some point in time, but I've had this pack axe for almost 4 years now, and it is just fantastic. It is razor sharp. It's done really well for me out in the field and just do a lot of chopping with it. I think it's fantastic. I love it a lot. So when you compare these two, I don't think there's an option. I mean, you could have either one in your pack. I honestly believe that. Now, when it comes to multi-tools, you know, everyone talks about, you know, the different types and manufacturers of multi-tools, but today is just a comparison on size. It's not comparison on necessarily quality. And I actually had the opportunity to use both of these here at Casper's Wild this year. And this one is the keychain version, the smaller version, and this is the full-size version. Both come with a multitude of things that you can use. The typical knife, saw, file, pliers, needle nose, and wire cutters is, you know, pretty much the standard for every multi-tool. This one here, you know, I can't really give it a bad review. I think it's really cool. If you're in a pinch and you've got this on your keychain, I'm telling you that someday it might just save you from a problem that you might be having. I mean, it could come in handy at some point in time, but honestly, when it comes to pliers, my heart is with bigger is always better, and that's just because you can get a full grip on this one. All the tools inside are slightly bigger. The grip, the pliers grip is bigger, the wire cutters is bigger. It can probably handle a lot more stress than the little keychain version, but I'm not going to toss this keychain version aside and say that it's not a good product. I think it's a great item to have with you for an everyday carry, which could be something that saves your life. So again, I mean, if you're going to carry one or the other, I would go with this just because everything is larger, and if you're in a bug out situation, you want to have the top-notch quality gear as opposed to something that, you know, just might work with a happenstance situation. So in this case, I would say the larger version is slightly better than the mini version. Now, some of you may wonder, why am I comparing these two knives? Because this one definitely looks like a full blade knife, and this one obviously is a full blade knife, but if you look closely at this one, what this one actually is one of those razor blade knives. And I'm going to try and get this out here real quick just so I can show you that. See, it's a razor blade. It's not an actual knife. It's just a blade type cutting device. So that's why I say this is actually more of like a mini tool, more so than with the traditional knife having a full 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 8-inch, 10-inch blade. So in my opinion, this is kind of neat in an emergency situation. We all have had the razor blades that have either snapped or cut or broken at some point in time. However, I do have to say that with this product though, if this side breaks, you can just simply turn it around and just feed it back in there, and you know, there you go, you fixed your blade just that fast. Where with this knife, you know, if you happen to break this blade, then this knife is pretty much done. So the smaller version does have some advantages which I just showed you, but all in all, I would have to go with the traditional folding knife, having the edge on that just a little bit because of these being just a little bit more durable and strong than just your typical razor blade. Now, moving on to the saws, you know, I love saws. I love folding saws. These things are fantastic. This one cuts very well. It folds up. It's very compact compared to the bow saw. Both of these products are really well. You know, having this one in your pack is definitely a great thing to have. But if you can have this one in your pack, the reason why this one is just slightly better is because of the blade. This blade is just meant to tear up wood, meant to tear through branches. And basically what you want to do is you want to grab it with both hands, and you're going to push with this one and then pull back. And it's a dual hand saw. So you're constantly working this blade, and it's cutting both on the forward and reverse stroke. And that's why this blade is such a better blade than this one, even though this one too cuts on the forward and backward draw, but these teeth on this one just really rip through the trees. And then last but not least, I'm going to talk about paracord. Everybody knows how well paracord is. It's, 550 cord is amazingly strong. It's really, really good. It's something that everybody needs in their pack, but we always toss out the idea about having smaller paracord. If we can have a project that we need where maybe we don't need the 550 cord, maybe all we need is this 1/8 inch diameter cord, we could use this in a not so critical situation, maybe to just tie off a tent or tie off a tarp, or maybe just tie something down, versus using the paracord in a much more critical situation where it is a situation where you need to make sure that this rope is going to hold whatever it is that it's meant to be holding. So again, there's some options here with the rope as well. Maybe you don't need to have the 550 cord. Maybe you can get away with some lighter diameter cord, which is obviously, if you look at the space comparison, it's a big difference in space and diameter. So that's just an option that you might want to consider. But anyway, guys, this is my small tools review for your bug out bag. I hope this helped you out, and I hope this gave you a lot of information on some of the tools that we use here at Kaz vs. Wild.